Don't think, just do.
Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I want to talk about why robotic affirming works. And I know in other of my videos, I have my own sort of techniques for how I go about manifesting things that is like a little bit more maybe relaxed sometimes. But this also requires you to kind of build up your trust in the law, build up your trust in the foundational concepts that I teach on my channel. So for some of you who are still interested in robotic affirming, which honestly is probably the easiest way to get started in regards to manifesting things, then maybe this video is for you. Because to be fair, when I was first starting out with manifesting, this was a concept that I used, that I was interested in. For me, I did find that sometimes the constant affirming would stress me out a little bit or be too much for me. But for those of you who do like it, because I know there's a lot of people clearly who do, I want to explain the mechanism behind why robotic affirming works so well, and also how you can kind of apply that in other techniques as well, in sort of like the other techniques that I've talked about in my other videos. So what I first want to explain is that the human mind works in cause and effect. We're constantly looking for a cause of something and the effect of that. We think everything that happens has to have a cause and effect. Everything has to be caused by something else. So really what this means is that when we're manifesting something, oftentimes our brains will try to figure out what's going to happen by us kind of like saying this affirmation. It will start to think of ways that this could actually happen in our reality. So for example, you're trying to manifest more money. Maybe you have a particular job at the time. You will think that, okay, well, the money probably has to come through this job. That would make most sense. Or it has to come from, I don't know, some other investments that you've done or something. But this is where the mind tends to kind of get in the way of our actual manifestation, because the universe does not work in cause and effect. The human mind does. So when it comes to the universe works in basically, I say this is, and then it is. As in when God says, let there be light, then there's light, right? Like there's no waiting period. There's no thing that has to happen before. It's just God says that this happens and then it happens. That's it. And that's the way the universe works. There is no cause and effect. It's just you say you are that thing and you are that thing. And the reason that is because, as I say in all my videos, you are everything to ever exist. You are all concepts. You are all things. So when you say you are something, you are that thing. It's just part of you. It's the truth. It's who you are. And when you select that thing, that's what you're doing with your mind. When you imagine it or you think of it in your mind, you're selecting it. It's like you're taking a mouse on your computer and you're selecting that thing. Because when you put your focus on something, as a lot of teachers talk about, focus is your currency. So you put your focus on it by selecting it, and then that is what you're saying, I want to experience next in this reality. Because it's just a portion of yourself, but you are everything always, no matter what. You are always everything. You're just selecting what parts of yourself as the universe you want to experience in this reality. So there is no cause and effect. I am this thing. It doesn't change. You've always been that thing. You're just selecting that that's what you want to experience. So an example of this too is when you go into your imagination and you think of something, you can think of it instantly. There's nothing you have to do to think of that thing. Like it's just there, right? Like it just exists. And that's exactly what the universe is. So when you say something like, I am rich, you are immediately in that moment rich. As in the version of you that's in imagination is rich. And this is always where people start to, doubt or something because I'm saying imagination, but really imagination is the universe. It's reality. It's everything to ever exist. It's just the unmanifested stuff. So when you say I am rich, you are instantly rich because that is who you are. Like, because you are everything that's in imagination too. When you realize that you are everything, it means that you can manifest anything instantly because you realize like it's already yours. It's just not manifested. And when you put focus on it or you say your affirmation, you're just bringing it into physical form, but it's already yours. Like it's belongs to you. It is part of you. You're just bringing it into physical form when you say this affirmation. Okay, where I'm getting at with all of this is that robotic affirming is really helpful because when you're saying robotic affirmations, you're not really thinking about them. Like you're just saying them. And it's very monotonous. You're just repeating the same thing over and over and over. And the best part about this is that you're kind of blocking out your logical mind when you're doing this. You're not trying to think about, well, like, where's this money gonna come from again? Like, how's this gonna happen? You're just saying the affirmation over and over. And that's why I know in like Sammy's video, she always says, just keep saying it. I don't care if this happens, just say your affirmation, just say it, just keep saying it. Like, circumstances don't matter, because all you need to do is keep repeating the affirmation over and over. And the only thing is, sometimes our brain will jump in though, and it will be like, wait, is this affirmation actually working? Am I actually doing enough? Am I saying it right? Am I saying it with enough like feeling or something or whatever? Like, our brain will always try to interrupt. So in those moments when your brain interrupts, what you want to do is simply just repeat the affirmation again. You just want to say it. And this is where it's kind of like you're overriding your natural instinct, because you want to figure out, like, maybe you're doing something wrong. You want to think about it. You want to think things through. Every time you have that urge to think something through, to try and figure out what's not working, literally just say an affirmation. Don't think about it. Don't think about what you're doing. Just say the affirmation, because really what you're doing is you're overriding like the logical part of your brain, which you need to do to manifest. Because the universe, I like to say, think like the universe, because the universe does not think in cause and effect. The universe thinks, I am this thing, and it is. That's it. That's all there is to it. So when you say I am rich, immediately in that moment, you are rich. That is what you have selected. You've always been rich, but you're just putting your focus on it. So now that you're saying I am rich, I am rich, I am rich, what's going to happen is now you have selected the timeline to unfold that in your physical reality. So every time you're saying I am rich, it's not the amount of affirmations that you're saying. I've said this in other videos. It's just the consistency of staying on that belief of I am rich. So the reason robotic affirmations work so well, as I've said before, is because you are constantly keeping yourself on that sort of straight line of I am rich. You're keeping yourself in alignment with where you want to go. So repeating affirmations over and over, I've said this in, I think, one of my other videos, but it's kind of like thinking of yourself driving down this like straight road, and then every time you have this thought that kind of goes against your affirmations, when you start overthinking or something, then you sort of veer off track a little bit. Like, you start taking this detour path off-roading, you know? And then every time you say your affirmation, you just put yourself right back on that track again. That's what you're doing with it. So it's not the amount of affirmations, it's just being able to stay on that track. And some people can do that really well just with these foundational beliefs. Like for me, someone that really believes in the law, that knows that it works, that's done this for years, like I can say an affirmation and I can really stay on track just by saying it, you know, like a few times. But other people, maybe if you have less belief in what you are manifesting, you may want to say it more times to stay on track. The amount of times that you have to say it is really only based on whenever you have a negative thought. You don't need to say it unless you feel you need to say it. And every time you say an affirmation, you realize that it is instant. It is instant that you're manifesting this. Like immediately the moment you say your affirmation, you're back to manifesting it. You're back on track. Everything is moving forward in the direction you want to go. There's nothing else you have to do. Like you don't have to say it 20,000 times to be back on track. You say it once, you're back on track. You just have to realize that. So the number of affirmations you say is really just what feels good to you. The other thing I want to talk about too that I did mention once again in a different video is that another way to stay on track with affirmations instead of constantly repeating them over and over and over is to just stay in the present moment, which really just means to live your life and stay out of your head. So you can do that by obviously distracting your mind, doing things like, you know, cleaning the house is a really good one I find. Like anything where you're very involved in like the 3D world and your attention is focused on it, you're kind of doing sort of like a monotonous task. If you can, you know, stay there and stay in the present moment, like that's going to be really helpful for you, because every time you're in the present moment and you're not thinking, you're going to be in the state that you want to be in. You're going to stay on that road that you've selected, right? So if you can keep sort of a quiet mind, you're doing the same exact thing as if you're affirming all the time. It's just staying on track. That's all you're doing. You're not going against the thought that you've already had. So that's why I say staying in the present moment is so key. And staying in the present moment really is like the fastest way to manifest, because what you're doing, if you think of your mind like a highway of bringing your manifestation into this physical world, when your mind is clear, there's no resistance, right? Like there's no traffic, there's no other thoughts backing it up. It's just everything can move through so smoothly. Whereas robotic affirming is probably the closest other way that you could get to this, because what you're doing is setting your mind on just one thought. So it's like just one car driving down the road, right? Like there's not like 20 million cars on the road, it's just one car. So this way, robotic affirming works really similar to just keeping your mind clear, because you're just focusing your mind down on one thing. That's why focus is so important too. Like if ever your mind is, stressing out about a million things, try and focus down on like one thing, or focus your attention on one thing in your physical world to sort of distract it. Because that's really what you want to do. You just want to like hone down on one thing in your mind to keep it locked in that direction. The other reason robotic affirmations work so well too is, I've said in other videos, it's really important to affirm in the present moment, because what you're trying to do is bring this thing into your reality to match it to your current frequency, to make it as natural as possible. And if you want to learn more about that, watch my instant manifestation video. I talk super in depth about all of this stuff. But essentially, when you're affirming in the present moment, when you're just naturally saying it and then continuing to go on with whatever you're doing, it just makes it much more natural. It's hard to explain why this works so well, but it just does. Just trust me on this. If you can affirm and then just continue to do whatever you're doing without changing, shifting your energy in any way, you will bring in your manifestation much faster, because you're just matching it to the current frequency that you're in right now. You're basically matching your feeling of your affirmation of the thing you want to how you're feeling right now. And again, I recommend watching the instant manifestation video and also my video on feelings for more information on this. But it's super important to affirm in the present moment. And when you're robotically affirming, that's usually what you're doing. I honestly always recommend to people, if you want to try it out, the best thing you can do is just like go clean your house. I keep saying that's such a great way, but it is, because you're keeping yourself in the present moment, but then you're also saying your affirmation as you want to say it. Like again, you don't have to constantly repeat it, but if you just repeat it when you need to say it, when you feel you want to say it, as you're cleaning your house or something, this is such a great technique. If you can do that often, it's also a great way to, regularly clean your house. But this routine is good, because times that I've manifested things like the fastest are always when it's like I'm in the present moment, but then I've maybe said my affirmation like one time, but I haven't thought about it. Again, it's like not putting thought into the how of the manifestation, is just saying it as you're kind of like distracted in the present moment, if this makes any sense. And the other reason that robotic affirmations work really well is because you're not always going to be focused on outcome. So the times when robotic affirmations start to not be so good for people and they start to cause stress and anxiety is when you're starting to look for an outcome based on those robotic affirmations. When you start searching for outcomes based on robotic affirmations, you're just going to start stressing yourself out. This is often when I say I don't recommend robotic affirmations for everyone, because some people do feel this way. Sometimes saying them constantly can lead you to continue to look for it in your physical world. But if you aren't like that, if you are okay with saying them and you just continue to, like I said, say them sort of monotonously, repeating it, not really thinking about it at all, like literally just saying it over and over, then what's going to happen is some of these times when you're saying it, you're not going to be thinking about the outcome. You're not going to be thinking about what you're trying to get out of it. And that is so key, because what I've said in other videos is that you never want to look for an outcome out here when you're saying an affirmation. The goal of an affirmation is to remind you that that thing is already yours. It's already happened technically, because imagination is the true reality. So it's already happened in imagination. You're just reminding yourself, oh yeah, I already am that thing. I already have that thing. It already exists. That's all you're doing when you're saying an affirmation. And when you remind yourself of that, then you know if you already have that thing, all you're doing now is just you're sticking on the path to manifest that thing out here in the physical world. You already have it unmanifested. You already have it unmanifested. That's where everything exists before it's in physical form. You have it there. So when you're reminding yourself of robotic affirmations, what you're doing is you're staying on the path to allow it to unfold in the physical world. And the moment that you said the affirmation, it's already unfolding in your physical world. You don't have to see it right away to know it's unfolding in your physical world. because the universe is reorganizing things to bring it in for you immediately, like the moment that you have said it. It's just you might not physically see it right away that that's happening, but that's what you're doing the moment that you say an affirmation. And every time you say your affirmation, you can think of it like you moving forward on this little highway that you're driving down to your destination. Every time you say affirmations, like just think of yourself moving closer and closer. And you're never really off path, like I say, until you assume you're off path or you say a negative thought and you feel the need to affirm. But the moment you affirm, you're right on path again. So don't stress about, thinking negatively. It takes one affirmation to put you right back on track where you want to go. That's all you have to do. Anyways, hopefully this video is helpful on robotic affirmations. I'm not against them in any way. Like, I don't want my other videos to ever make it seem like I am, because I do feel like for many people this is a super helpful technique. And there is reason behind it, once again, that it works so well. And it really lines up with some of my other explanations and other videos about why affirmations can work or not work, why people can, say an affirmation one time and manifest it, or say it 1,000,000 times and manifest it. It really just depends on, how you're going about it, once again. So my biggest recommendation is don't think about it. Don't think about the circumstance. Don't think about the how. Literally just say the affirmation. Just say it. That's all you have to do. Think like the universe. The universe does not care about what's going on right now, doesn't care about, how something's going to come about. It just knows that it is that thing. That's all it knows. That's it. That's all you have to know, is that you are that thing, or you have that thing. That's the only thing that you have to know. So don't overthink it. Overthinking it doesn't lead to anything good. Trying to understand every concept is not going to help you further. Like I say, I get so many comments about people being like, well, like this particular thing's going on in my life right now, or like I said it this kind of way. Don't think about it. Like literally stop trying to analyze every single thing you're doing and just start saying the affirmation and knowing that when you've said it, that's enough. Like you're good. You're not doing anything wrong. You can't mess up. As long as you've said it, you're like, that's it. That's all you had to do. You are everything. Like you are everything already. You can't mess up what's already yours. So that's the number one thing that I would say when you're trying to manifest. And also, like I said, when you're saying robotic affirmations, don't go looking for an outcome in your outside world. Know that you're reminding yourself that you are on the path to get that thing. It is already yours. It's already yours in the unmanifested. So if everything is yours in the unmanifested, think of it like it's like your closet full of things that you have, and you're just picking something from it that you want to experience. Like you're just choosing something you want to experience. And the moment you've said that you have it, you're going to experience that thing. Like it's begun unfolding for you. So just relax, let it unfold for you. Know that there's literally no way to mess up if you just allow it to unfold for you. If you just trust that when you've said your affirmation, you're on that road to the destination you want to go to. You're always on the road to the destination you want to go to. And if you feel like you're not, like just affirm once and you're back on that road again. It's really more simple than you think. And there's no number of affirmations you have to say. Affirmations are just a tool to keep your mind on the track that you want it to go. That's all that they're used for. They're just a tool. They're not a necessary thing that you have to do. You can write your affirmation once and forget about it for an entire year, and it could still manifest. Or you could follow my techniques in my other video where I talk about instant manifestation, where I talk about being in the present moment, just keeping your mind clear. There's so many ways to manifest. It's really just about what works best for you and trusting that you're everything. You already have everything. You already are everything. And that's all there is to know. You are everything, and there's nothing specific you have to do to get it, because you're already everything. You already have everything. Why would you need to try to be something you already are, right? We'd say these affirmations. We're not trying to be anything or do anything. We're just reminding ourselves, oh yeah, I'm everything. That's basically all they are doing. So, okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. If you are interested in coaching, the information for that is down below. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one, right? Bye.